What's up, Soil Brothers and Soil Sisters?
Soil Family.
What's up with that?
I don't know. Today is Sunday morning. I hope y'all had an amazing week and weekend. We are rolling right along, headed to a new week. It's been a busy week. My goodness. I don't think I've ever been busy as we have been this week.
Man, I know when we first started talking about blood pressure and Cayenne and beets,
Yeah.
people asked us, do you sell that?
And we were like,
No. But now we do, and wow, people have been really, really responding way more than we thought they would.
yeah, because we went on and made capsules, the moringa, and we made Cayenne. We call it a blood pressure support capsules available for the public. Whew. Yeah, it's been some work. Yesterday it was so funny because my sweet neighbor, the cake lady, she stopped by on her way from work and was like, "Oh, I brought y'all some cake squares," and she was like, "Oh, what's all that red stuff all over you?" And I was like, "Cayenne pepper." You would have thought I was in here just throwing it in the air, but I was working. So
I mean, I don't know how that powder
we appreciate you. Good morning, Jam.
got in some places, but man, that guy was like stinging. I'm like, oh, Jesus.
Was it?
Yeah.
It doesn't bother me at all.
Yeah.
You know how you go to the beach and you get in the ocean and you be like, "Oh man, well, I don't know how I got sand down there." It was one of those. She loved blue butterfly pea soap. Good. So orders have started going out yesterday for moringa, Cayenne capsules, which are blood pressure support, which are good for so many things other than just blood pressure. Circulation, inflammation, all those sinuses, definitely clean out your sinuses, and so many other things.
Are we out?
No,
we're still good.
yeah. So we appreciate y'all for supporting us.
Yeah, I think
hey, Ziggy, Monica and Ziggy.
What's
I don't know
up?
why I always jump right to Ziggy. Hey, Monica and Ziggy.
I think we woke up one morning and then we quit up about 11 o'clock that night.
Yeah.
And we was out.
Yeah.
We had to get started again the next day.
My cousin said, "I told you I'll come and help." I was like, "Girl, we just be in a zone."
Yeah. Just doing it.
But it's been a blessing to be able to help people. Now, we always say do your own research when it comes to anything we talk about, because research is important. We don't talk about everything, and sometimes we don't go as deep as things can be. So it's always important to do your research so you'll know, because no two people are the same, and we don't know your medical history or background or what's going on, but we try to go over the basics and keep it simple.
Yeah. I mean, one of the important things is accessibility. Now, a lot of people, even though we talk about the cayenne, the beets, and the best way to lower your blood pressure and trying to get off of all these synthetics, some people just don't have the time or can't go out and find the stuff, or just don't want to. So therefore, it's so much easier to have a capsule that's already prepared and to use it. So we told y'all how to do it without that.
And that's always important.
Yeah, for the people who won't do that or choose not to, and they just rather take a pill, we got those. And we try to make them as affordable as possible. They are a little more work than we thought they would be, but hey, it is what it is.
Yeah, our
It
capsules.
gives people an opportunity to try to get off their medication,
Yeah.
which is very, very important to me and to her, because we know how much damage that stuff can do, and know that it's really never going to really control anything. It's just going to pacify it for the moment, and then at the same time give you issues with your other organs in your body over time,
Yeah.
which then they're gonna have to put you on medication for, and so forth and so forth. So we happy to do this now.
Yeah, and I know some people will feel like, well, I can just go buy some cayenne from the store. You can do that. The thing is, with the cayenne we purchased from the store, is we not sure what is in it. They'll just put cayenne pepper or cayenne powder on the label, but is that just cayenne? Was it sprayed with anything? What was the process it went through?
Yeah, any fillers.
Yeah, any
you know,
fillers in that. They don't have to put a whole bunch of ingredients on the bottle for you to know that these ingredients are here. They just add whatever they can add to it, and it is what it is. They'll sell it to you. Versus ours, we know we just put cayenne and beet. We freeze dry our own products. We grow our own products.
House of grits.
We freeze dry them. We powder them,
WYE.
and then we capsule it. So we know that it's all organic products, and it's just 2 ingredients, cayenne and beet. We can't say that with store-bought stuff.
There's no mistaking cayenne. If you walking down the aisle of a store and you don't smell cayenne, or if when you open a package,
Good, Jay.
it don't have your eyes want to water, or you just got that smell of pepper. That was one of the things I realized once we started doing this. You could buy stuff like onion powder
Yeah.
and garlic powder, and it don't have that onion and garlic smell.
Yeah.
And the only way you realize that it don't is when you make your own garlic and onion powder. It is pungent.
Yeah, you like, goodness.
Yeah, why it don't smell like that when I buy it at the store? Why I can't buy a container of onion powder from the store, open it, and have that poof of onion? Like, oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
You know, but when we make our powder, every time we open it, you can smell onion
Yeah.
and garlic. You know, so it's a lot of this stuff, and you got to actually, it's one of those, kind of moments.
To make you think.
Yeah, because when you don't know, right? So when you do it yourself and you realize that the stuff that I was buying that was supposed to be this
Good morning, Soil Family.
don't look or smell or act nothing like this.
Yeah. Living out loud.
The podcast. What's up, fam? Let me see what that's.
Do you remove fruit from your diet? What fruit do you eat? So, yeah, so today I did want to talk about diabetes some because we get that question a lot too. So that's a good question.
So
When my husband was first diagnosed with diabetes, so they call it, we removed everything from our diets. No fruit, no honey, no bread, no pasta, no beans, no anything, no vegetables. He just went cold turkey, strictly meat. It was not an easy choice because he kept thinking, I'm gonna starve, I'm gonna be hungry. But what we did not know is the healthy fats would help keep him good. So once we started with the meat,
yeah,
he did pretty good. Yeah.
Now, so the question he asks is, did you remove fruit from your diet? If no, what fruit do you eat? I love fruit. I love fruit. Absolutely love just about all fruit. When I found out I was having the sugar problems, you know, of course, fruit has sugar in it. You know, whether it's good or not, it still has sugar and it will spike your insulin. So my goal was not to spike my insulin at all. So that's why we did the carnivore diet. There's no sugar in eating meat. And I wanted to reset my system, so I went on a meat and fat diet, protein and fat diet. And within 3 weeks, my blood sugar was normal. And we let that go for a little while, and then we started incorporating some beans. And then I went to trying to eat more berries than anything.
So the berries, so most of the fruit we eat now are things like berries because berries sit low on the glycemic index chart. So you want to target fruit that sit 55 and lower Guava, he can eat all the guava he want, which he love.
And guava is real good for
Diabetes.
diabetes. So it's one of those diabetes safe fruit that actually will help lower your blood sugar too. So
Yeah.
keep that in mind. That and the leaves. The leaves as a tea is also medicine for blood sugar. So you can naturally bring your blood sugar down by drinking soursop leaf tea.
Guava.
Guava.
I was like,
Guava
wait a minute.
tea, yeah.
Yeah,
Mix it
or
up with-
chewing on the leaves. Some people just chew on the leaves.
yeah. And
But
try to do the fresh leaves, the newer leaves. They got the most impact. But yeah, making some tea,
yeah,
and it's a few different leaves out there that actually does that. Like you really don't need the medication if you are disciplined enough to do the stuff you need to do.
and that's type 1 or type 2 diabetes. Period. If you control your diet, if you are disciplined enough to control your diet really, really well, you can either come back off of insulin a whole lot, or don't have to take medicine at all, just control it through diet. So it's very easy to do. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's easy to do because we love to eat, So it's hard to not feed your body, which is feeding the diabetes. So you definitely want to make better choices when it comes to eat. But look into things that are low on the glycemic index chart.
So set apart for y'all. Say, I truly admire y'all love and garden. Please consider replacing the shirt with a degraded. Your wife is your queen.
Yeah, some people don't get it, and it's okay.
Yeah, but if you notice, that's a picture of a hoe. Well, if you know what a hoe is, if you're a gardener, you know what that is.
Yeah, if you know, you know.
Yeah, if
That's
you don't,
it.
then I'm
It's
sorry.
okay. But once we got the diabetes under the control with the healthy fats, healthy meats diet, carnivore diet, we looked into how to incorporate foods back. Because if you know my husband, he loved snacks, sandwiches. He used to eat a lot of sandwiches and different things. So now it's time to do things different when we bring things back into our diet. So he did a lot of research and found out about einkorn or ancient grains. So that was the way to incorporate cookies and muffins and bread and different things pizza back into our diet. Also, he loved rice. And one day I was in the store like, I need rice because I forgot what I was making, but I needed rice. And I said, man, I got to figure out what kind of rice he can eat. The brown rice was just as bad. It's just like flour. Brown rice was just as bad as white rice. So we started using black rice, which doesn't spike the glucose either. Instead of white potatoes, he mainly eats sweet potatoes, sweet potato fries, sweet potato as a potato. So it's all about what you feed your body. If you can grow it, you'll be better. Yeah, bitter melon. We grew that. Was it last year? It's disgusting.
It is horrible. So we can't do that.
It's hard. I ain't gonna say we can't, because we could have freeze dried it and powdered it.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. Hey, Tommy.
And putting it in like some kind of smoothie or something.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like the freeze dry is an investment, but it's an amazing investment. Instead of saying we couldn't eat or we couldn't do something, we have the capability to freeze dry anything and use it that way. Lemon bars.
Acrylic.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You may have had 1, 3, or 5 of them lemon bars. I'm telling you, they be like, "Come on," and we at the end we were begging them that please take these. They were like, "No, take them home with y'all." No, we refused to. So yeah, thank y'all for eating them. That's why they were there. Where did you find? So I get black rice from Brighter Day, our health food store. Come this way. That light is killing me.
Yeah, so I encourage everybody to look into some of the stuff that's that we're doing and using to better your health, because when you find out the issues that things have, you really should look into them and actually try to incorporate them in your life. Don't wait till you start having problems before you actually do something about it. These things that we talk about diabetes, high blood pressure, just because you haven't suffered just yet, or it hadn't outwardly shown itself, that don't mean you're not having that problem. So I say go ahead and address any of that stuff, because the foods and the stuff they putting in our foods and hair care products and skin products and all that stuff is absolutely harming you. And whether you know it or not, once you get off of it, your body will start responding different. Guys, I've been lifting weights for most of my life, and when diabetes started setting in on me, I noticed I could not gain weight no more. I couldn't gain muscle no more. Let's put it that way. And then at some point, my weight just started coming off of me, and I wasn't doing anything any different. And of course, I was getting flat. My muscles they wouldn't pump up or nothing. Like I couldn't get a pump in the gym, and I was continuously going. I was eating the same, and my body was just like wasting away. It was going. It was leaving, and I had no idea until I found out that my blood sugar was off. And it's gonna happen to a lot of y'all, and it probably already did, and y'all just don't know it. But if you ever notice that you just all of a sudden start losing weight and you ain't doing anything different, you probably need to look at what's going on with your body. Yeah. I had no idea. My eyesight started going.
I think that's what most people before they even realize the weight or muscle, they'll realize that the eyesight is a little funky, or they use the bathroom frequently, always thirsty. You know, those are more common.
Yeah. If you go to the bathroom like all the time, or you just sitting around and you drink something and then
Talea,
just out of nowhere, you don't have the urge to, I'm gonna have to go to the bathroom or what. No, I got to go to the bathroom right now. Yeah. I went from not having to go to the bathroom to having to go to the bathroom.
All of a sudden.
Yeah. That's a problem. The reason I noticed me not getting a pump and losing weight or losing muscle is because I go to the gym all the time. So if you don't do that, you're not going to notice it the way I noticed it. So if it's something you do every day and it start changing,
see that comment?
It's going to be a problem. What's that?
I should be at Metro Diner right now. Yeah. I love your your best friend's reaction to that fried chicken. Her face was like, both of them were like,
oh yeah.
The whole time.
We were looking through. We were waiting after she ate that. After y'all ate that, I was looking at y'all directly, and I'm just like, I want to see what she think about that.
But what they did was dip it in that hot sauce and serve. Mm-hmm. Oh my God! Yeah, made y'all want to move to Savannah, right? Come on down.
You know what we found out? Even though the manager is always there every year we go, he's the owner.
I said next year we might not be able to come here. We'll find somewhere else, because I don't want to be. I know we spend money. It's a lot of us, but it's a lot of us, and we are very patient. And they've been working with us for 4 years, but it's getting bigger and bigger. And like, I don't want to take over the entire restaurant. He was like, "What?" He said, "Don't you ever tell me you ain't coming back up in here." He was like, "I enjoy having y'all. Y'all come and spend money. Like, it's not like y'all coming looking for a free meal." So that made me feel good, even though he'll be in Brunswick next year.
Yeah, so. He said, I'm opening up a new restaurant in Brunswick.
Yeah.
And then it took a little bit. I was like, hold up, you opening up one? Oh, you gonna be managing one? No, you finna build a new one. And I'm like, oh. So you own this one.
Yeah.
And you see how personable he is. He in the kitchen. He helps serving. And just a good guy, and he the owner.
Yeah.
He got all those employees in there, but he makes sure that he come out and hang out.
He's active.
Funny.
Yeah.
He interact with us every year.
Yeah. So sorry to get off that quick. But yeah, diabetes.
Just make sure, guys, you're paying attention to yourself.
Yeah, you have to pay attention.
I say don't wait till you start having issues before you actually address them, because you don't know what kind of problems that stuff can be actually having in your body. It can be encouraging other things to happen. Because when your body is in a broken state,
Yep, it's vulnerable.
yeah, it's vulnerable to all kind of things, and so you want to make sure you're always in check. And guys, we eat this crap out these stores all the time. They all are jam packed full of chemicals, preservatives, poisons, things that's actually poisonous to you in the right amounts.
Yeah.
But it may not be poisonous to you in that particular product, but you are eating a whole bunch of other products that has some of that in it too. So if all of them together has a little bit of poison, you're getting a lot of poison.
Yeah, we don't always, I mean, no, I don't mix mine in warm water. So Brooke was asking, do we put cayenne in warm water? I get my water out the refrigerator.
Yeah.
And
Because all you do, you ain't trying to let it dissolve in there. You just want it to sit in there so you can throw it back.
Yeah.
Because if you throw it in your mouth as powder, it's gonna stay in your mouth as powder.
yeah, it just tingle a little bit if
Yeah.
you thank you, Karen, for becoming House of Grits, for
House of
becoming
Grits.
Tropical Truth.
We appreciate you.
It does tingle a little bit when, like this morning, you talking about now? This is just lemonade with cayenne pepper in it. I put cayenne pepper in lemonade when I make it. I put a little bit of cinnamon in it too, and I stick it in the refrigerator, and we just sip on them or drink it throughout the week.
I take our capsules. What is it?
Yeah, capsules right there. It's a jar right there beside the.
Remember we had a bag sitting up there?
Yeah, I bagged them up.
Those are the ones I was
Bobby came in the house yesterday. I left some right there in the jar. Bobby came in the house yesterday and he was like, "Oh, you finished?" Yeah. Somehow. So that's what I was drinking. You talk about this in the pink jar. It's just lemonade, and I put cayenne pepper in it. So I make like 6 of these, 3 for him and 3 for me. And I just set them in the refrigerator, and then we just sip on them. So that's all that is. Lemonade with a little bit of cayenne.
So keep in mind, guys, lemons will help bring your blood sugar down, and grapefruit will help with your blood sugar also. But if you are having an issue, let's say you indulge in something that got some carbs or sugars in it, being able to drink some lemon water or lemon juice afterwards will bring your blood sugar down. It will stop the spike from being as bad.
Yeah.
So that helps too. So many little things that we don't know because they're not saying.
Most things they won't say because they don't want you to heal yourself. They want you to depend on them. So they'll say things that frighten you. Tommy just said grapefruit help with blood pressure also. We had that conversation at SoilFamily Expo about grapefruit. They'll tell you don't eat grapefruit if you take blood pressure medicine. But that's because the grapefruit will naturally lower your blood pressure, help keep your blood pressure right, versus the medicine that's just going to drop your blood pressure because that's what it's designed to do. So they'll tell you don't do this.
Thanks for being a tropical truth.
Yeah.
What a month.
I went from 160 to 113. I'm telling you. Oh, and I did see somebody ask, how did Bobby get his weight back? House of Grit. Just got his body back in order.
Once my blood sugar got back in order, I just continued doing what I was doing. And now I'm able to gain muscle again. My muscle, and because I worked out so long, my muscles just rebounded. They were there, they were flat, and they wasn't growing or doing nothing, but they were there. So all I had to do was get my body performing correctly, and it started performing correctly.
The body has the ability to heal itself. When you feed your body right and put it in the right conditions or the right where it's supposed to be, it's gonna automatically start. It's gonna fix itself. When I say all the time, when God designed us, He did a thing, because our body can naturally heal itself. It's just that it's so many chemicals and preservatives and hybrids and all this stuff that our body doesn't recognize, so it doesn't know. Like, what am I supposed to do with that? Well, what am I supposed to do with this? And you can raise your own chickens, which is the best way to eat chicken. Raise your own chickens, and then you got slap your mama or somebody's seasoning, and that's what you use to season your chicken with. Well, you just messed up the whole process.
So Laura said that she cut out everything except meat, and she was able to reverse her type 2 in under a year.
Yeah.
Guys, I mean, people can say what they want about us eating meat, and I know it's this whole, carnivore versus vegetarian. There's no versus anything.
Yeah, it's what worked for you.
It's what works for you. And if it works for you, it works for you. I wouldn't say nobody should be on one side or the other because,
hey, Riri's guy.
a lot of people on those sides because they want to fit into whatever group that they're in. And just because it worked great for somebody don't mean it's going to work great for you. So you have to make those choices based off of yourself.
Right, Steph?
And don't sit there and demonize somebody else.
Because it might work for them.
Yeah.
Just because it didn't work. And that's why we always say do your own research. Because what worked for one grape may not work as good for the next. But do not dog each other out or say, oh, this person is crazy. You have to do what worked for you. Hey, Dusty Goat.
Don't jump on some boat because everybody's saying X, Y, and Z. All our bodies are different.
Yeah.
And I have seen, I think my aha moment, which was one of the reasons why I realized this thing could work. I forget his name. In Utah. Dr.
Bill? I don't know.
Yeah, Bill.
And he does is eat like a human, but I call him Bill.
He was there, and I haven't met him prior. And when you lift weights for a long time, you can actually see that in others, right? There's no walking around and not being familiar with somebody who works out because their body looks a certain way. Now, the average person may not see that in that person, but you absolutely, if you've been in the gym for a while, you can tell when somebody is going to the gym. And I saw him and I was like, wow, this guy's in really, really good shape. And, eventually I was able to talk to him and he told us about him and his wife having diabetes at one point. And what he did to overcome it. Both him and his wife had diabetes and they went on a strict carnivore diet. Mm-hmm. And both of them reversed their diabetes. And I'm telling you, he looked good. He's a nicely built man, and of course he's in better I say physical shape because he don't have excess and I do. But he looks really good, really athletic, and he got to be close to my age, right?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, so, I figure if he can look that good, he's actually a doctor, not a medical doctor, but a doctor. He had a doctorate. And he's one of those people that do his research and studies. And his wife is the same way. She's really educated. So that was enough for me to say, this is something I really need to look into. Because I never really considered carnivore until then.
They are the Schindlers.
Yeah.
The Schindlers. How you say that?
Really good people, guys.
Schindlers.
Yeah, eat like a human.
Yeah, eat like a human. That's who we talking about.
Yeah. And once he talked to me, and then when I realized, I don't even think I realized did I know then?
I want to say we did. That's what made the conversation come up.
Okay.
I want to say we did, and we were trying to figure out what diet, because I kept saying, I think you should try carnivore. Mm-hmm. And you was like, I don't know if I can eat enough meat. And Bill was saying, yeah, you should be good. Mm-hmm.
So,
hey, Harold.
Always having people in place or situations that come about that prepare me for a situation, I have always been that way. I tell people all the time, wow, bad things have happened to me all the time. I think God is one of, I'm one of his favorite people because he'll put situations in front of me to prepare me for another situation.
I think
Now,
that,
all my life, I haven't paid attention to that.
yeah, but I think that's most people. Like, everything. This is how I feel anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Everything happened for a reason. We just don't understand when things are happening why. So we have this why me attitude towards things, especially things that we didn't plan or we dislike. It's not that we dislike them, we just don't understand them. And that's okay. I think God understand that we don't understand things. And then later on, something will happen. Like always, remember I used to always say, why does Sandy call me Queenie?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know I'm a black woman, but I don't look like Queenie was an older lady. She had gray hair. I said, but I don't think I look like Queenie. But she called me Queenie. Well, years after she passed away, when I started really getting deep into herbs, and all her friends would say, well, that's the highest compliment you can get. And I really didn't understand it until I got into this natural healing thing a little deeper. And then I felt like, well, maybe she saw that and I didn't. Mm-hmm. And that was God's way of trying to show me that, hey, this is where you headed to. And I just didn't understand. So I think a lot of us get those, I didn't understand it at the time moments, but I think that's just how life is designed.
I think that's kind of freaky. Like, it's kind of scary to actually know that those things are occurring around us, and
you don't have a clue.
Yeah, and it's like, like what's going on? Like, how?
Yeah,
Savannah
because citrus.
Somebody actually being able to see something in you that haven't happened yet.
Yeah.
And it absolutely happened. And the thing is, when you look back and say, this is why that occurred. I never had to get on medication for nothing. I never needed it. And then when I did need it, I already been put in place to actually deal with it.
That was God's way of protecting you.
And a lot of people, y'all on medication only because y'all don't know. Yeah. Y'all don't know there's another way.
Because when he went to the doctor, he said, oh, my wife will get me straight. They never prescribed him blood pressure medicine because he was like, no, let my wife I'll do what she did. And then I won't have to take the medicine. Never prescribed him blood pressure medicine. They did give him medicine for diabetes, but
never took it.
Yeah. But he was then in the position where he knew, because like he said, years before he would have just been like, yeah,
just like y'all, just like most people that's on this medication, they told you had this problem, and the only way you could fix it was to do this.
Yeah, like most people don't even talk about. We feel like a lot of people say, well, you got to lay off the sugar. Well, we use raw sugar or turbinado sugar. Two sugars we use: raw cane sugar or turbinado sugar. Most people say you got to leave the sugar alone. It's the sugar. Well, we think it's more so of the flour or the wheat than sugar. Some people don't even use sugar, but they eat a lot of bread or whatever. So that lead us to believe that it's the wheat, because the wheat sit higher on the glycemic index chart than the sugar do. So what does that mean when it comes to what we consuming? So it's just doing a deep dive, and sometimes we get, we go on and get in this rabbit hole where we go really deep. We go really deep for some things, but we don't, some people just don't talk about it. Well, when we go deep and find things, we gonna talk about it because it made sense. Like, wait a minute, we only looking at sugar, but we not looking at flour. Meanwhile, everybody using flour, and some people have said to me, oh, I use King Arthur or White Lily because it's a name brand flour. It doesn't matter. It's all hybridized, and that is one of the major causes to Alzheimer's and dementia, ADHD, blood pressure, high cholesterol, cancer, inflammation, diabetes. All these issues could be coming from the dangerous flours that we use. Flour is flour. If it's not an ancient grain, we shouldn't even be using it. It's hard to get away from it, 100%, but we can do better.
Yeah, that's the goal. We appreciate you too. I mean, we out here doing our part, and hopefully that we are benefiting somebody when we have these conversations. So I know if I'm surprised about the things that I find out, majority of people will be.
Yes, Shannon.
Because if this stuff is not pushed out there, we have no idea. We have no way of knowing what's going on.
Yeah.
And nobody was talking about the wheat. When I say nobody, I mean it's not being put out front that is a major issue that most people are having. You have people getting on all kind of diets, cutting back, eating less, but they eating the wrong things, and the wrong things are the major cause of your problems, and nobody's telling you. Like, how you supposed to know if I eat a sandwich or if I eat the bread from the store or I eat anything that got wheat in it? That's the thing that's keeping my body sick, because nobody is saying that. They saying the sugar, they saying it's the salt, but yet they not giving you the whole picture.
Context. Yeah, I always say that most of the time it's not the product, it's the process. Like, people say, I can't drink milk. It ain't that you can't drink milk, because if you get raw milk, you'll see the difference. It's the process, 9 times out of 10, that bother you. People say, oh, I can't eat this, or I can't drink that. 9 times out of 10, it's, if you can get it in the raw, you'll realize that, oh, I can drink milk. So why couldn't I drink this milk? Because it's the process of it that our body don't agree with. And because we have so many unknown objects that God didn't create, when we go back to God's creations, our body react different, because it recognized that that's what God say, this is what we supposed to use. Our body will say, oh, okay, now I can start healing, now I can do this. But long as we keep with these unknown foreign foods and objects, the body doesn't know what to do with it.
So Tommy Bites Homestead said, yes, that's so true, Bobby. I tried Carnivore and I lost weight, but my blood work showed I needed to stop due to cholesterol. Now, what you got to say about that?
So when it comes to cholesterol, it just depends on what your numbers are. Oh, right quick. What flour do we suggest? So we look into ancient grains. There are multiple different ancient grains. We use mainly einkorn berries, and you can get them already grinded up. The thing with flour, the white flour, wheat flour, it doesn't have any nutrients to it. It's just flour. That's why we gotta season it to make it taste like something. It's also hybridized wheat that the body doesn't recognize. So the ancient grain is an original wheat that God provided us with, and that's what the body recognized. All these people with these gluten issues, it's the hybridized wheat. So if you go to something like a einkorn or kamut or spelt, your body tend to do better with that. Even with things like eczema, people have kids with eczema. It's just the flour.
Yeah, guys. So when you talking glutens, the gluten of today's wheat, the hybridized wheat, is way more than the ancient grains. And the glutens is what make your bread and your cakes rise. So when you actually have that rise in your bread, that means you got a whole lot of gluten in it. So I relate back in the day when you saw like old videos or movies, they tore their bread.
Yeah.
Because it was a loaf about that thick, and you had to break it to give people a piece of it. That's because those were the original grains grown with the ancient grains, and they don't rise as high.
Yeah.
They taste way better. They have nutrients in it versus the ones of the day that has absolutely no nutrients, and they have harmful effects to your body. So you will have to change your mindset of what a piece of bread look like, because now you're not going to get these big fluffy loaf. You're going to get something that tastes way better. It's going to be better for you. Won't upset your body, but the aesthetics won't be what we are accustomed to. And we only accustomed to it because we've been doing it, and that's what they've been putting in front of us.
Yeah.
So we want to try to make our cakes nice, big, and fluffy. Our bread loaves nice and tall and fluffy. If you're looking for the aesthetics, ancient grains ain't really what you want. But if you're looking for the benefits, the taste, and not have the issues, then ancient grains is definitely where you want to be.
Yeah, most people we suffering, you know, and most people are sick of it. And the way to get away from all this suffering is we have to change our mindset and change our diet, what we put in our body. Dusty Ghost said I was diagnosed with severe eczema last April. It's bad. Yeah, I mean, and why all of a sudden, you know, and what are the people practicing saying? They giving you creams and you know, what are they telling you for that? So that's the thing. Now when it comes to cholesterol, it's all about, when it comes to our health period, it's all about money. They really don't care about us healing or doing better. They have to make money, and that's what it's all about. Like, we make Big Pharma a whole lot of money because of the way we eat and live. So when it comes to cholesterol, when it comes to everything, they move the goalposts, I call it. They'll move numbers around and make it suitable for them so that they can put you on their medicines and keep you in their office. And so when it comes to cholesterol, the body needs fat. The brain needs fat. So a lot of people start suffering with dementia and Alzheimer's and brain fog because when they say that you have high cholesterol and the first thing you want to do is cut back on the fat. Your brain need that.
Yeah.
You know, so they'll let you suffer and make you think it's something else wrong so they can keep feeding you stuff. So long as your cholesterol is between 200 and 300, doesn't go terribly close to 300 and you don't want it to drop below 100, your cholesterol is great. You know, and most of the time when your cholesterol is off whack, it's not even things like the butter, your oils, the fats on your meat, especially if you're eating a clean, healthy meat.
And we're talking about good fats. We ain't talking about
healthy fats,
the saturated, the stuff that they make.
Yeah, this is healthy fats.
Yeah, real stuff.
When your cholesterol is getting too high, 300s, it's the bread or the crackers or, you know, the pizza crust. It's the wheat again. It go back to wheat, not even the fat. It's the wheat. So that's where you want to be careful at.
And the guy, I was listening to, forget what his name was, but the studies were that generally the people who get like which kind of
Alzheimer's and dementia.
It's the people who are low on their cholesterol.
Yeah.
So you need your cholesterol to be good. And what's her name? Barbara O'Neill. She said that there was a push to put lower cholesterol lowering medication out there. So they started lowering the number for which people had to be on to say that they had high cholesterol, so they could push that medication. That medication will affect your brain and give you onset of Alzheimer's. And so just be careful what doctors say. Do your research. When they tell you stuff, take that in, go do your research, and don't take surface level research.
Oh, good.
Because billions of dollars are being put into what they're putting out there.
Yeah, avocados is a good fat.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You got to learn healthy and unhealthy fats. Yeah. Jeanette said my A1C was 9.2. Now it's 6 because I listened to you both. Mm-hmm. I changed my diet and changed my life. I am so proud of you.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you for giving us that. You know, because helping one person is worth everything. Because that's what we do. That's why we do. And y'all constantly, telling us that the stuff that we are saying and doing is helping. And we ain't created nothing, but we are putting the message forth because there are people that listen to us and they probably don't hear this from nobody else. Yeah. So therefore, we want to put that information out there. We do our research. We try not to talk about something that we don't have some research on. If we say we heard, know that we heard it.
Yeah.
If we say we did it, know that we did it.
Yeah, but still do your research.
Do your research because it could be different for you.
Yeah.
And make sure when you make that decision, you're making that decision with all the information, and then you're going to be like, well, they said it worked for them. I see where other people said it worked for them, and so the science says this, and so therefore I'm gonna try it. That way, if something don't work the right way, it's on you, right? So do your research because you're the only one that's gonna benefit, and you're the only one that's gonna suffer. So make sure you know what you're doing. Like this message here I saw from Laura Thomas. She said, I tried being a vegetarian before, listening to others because of my Crohn's disease, and I ended up in the hospital for a week, and I had 2 blood transfusions. So I heard this message a lot, and not saying everybody have that problem, but I was listening to advocate for vegetarians, and he said at first you can eat that way. He said after a while your body will not allow you to continue to do that without you getting sick. You will get sick because people say we're not meant to eat meat. Well, I mean, somehow the vegetarians are actually dying because they try to stick to being a vegetarian. And I heard people say that once people get into that group of being a vegetarian, no matter how sick they get, they try to stick with it.
Because they find other things to blame, but...
Yeah, they want to be so much part of this group because they advocated for so much. Don't be too proud to change your mind. Don't be too proud to say, wow, I said this, I got new research, maybe I was wrong.
Or this isn't working for me.
We will definitely hear. If we find out anything that we were doing or said was not correct, we're going to say, we were saying this, and now we found out different, and now it's this. Yeah. Like we were advocate for making all our bread, making all our baked goods from scratch.
Yeah,
and that was going to be healthy for us.
Yeah.
But then we found out that the flour is the problem.
Yeah. Same thing with we know Sue. Sue said never be a vegetarian here. We also like things like the salts we use. We went from using any seasoning. We would go to the store and buy our seasonings and salts or whatever, to now we heard a lot about Celtic and we switched over to Celtic. But then we were confused about Celtic, so we stopped and we explained why we went from Celtic to only Redmond. It shouldn't make sense. You shouldn't just be doing it because the masses say it or because people say it, because everything don't work for everybody. And once you start getting them signs, listen to them. Yeah. Look into why. We don't use Azure standard. The reviews won't good enough for us on Azure.
We looked into that, and I mean the only thing we can actually go by is the research or what other people have tried.
Oh yeah.
When it comes to that kind of stuff, and the reviews just wasn't what we wanted.
Yeah. So
and we don't just want the wheat; we want not having all the junk also. So
I was telling my best friend, who is healing up really well. She broke her toe a couple weeks ago. And I went and saw her the other day, and I was telling her about dinner. And we talked about it the other day when we were live Friday. Mm-hmm. I think dinner was so impactful. We are on TikTok also. I think dinner was so impactful to where it's like, man, now when we see y'all names, because we have met more people again this year, and when we see names, it's like, look at Shannon. Mm-hmm. But Shannon said, I believe the testimony about the blood type diet that was shared at dinner was valid and very important. Very valid and very important. Mm-hmm. So the Hoodstead has been hanging out with us for the last 4 years now. She drive down from New York. Drive down from New York to participate and be here for SoilFamily Expo weekend. Well, she has been through some health issues, and she said
All of us have.
this community, things that the community have shared helped her tremendously. So Bachelor Journey has shared this book, Eat Your Blood Type, I think it's called, or something like that. And she said, I had that book for like 2 years and didn't even open it. And I decided, she said, I was going through some things with my thyroid. I decided, let's open this book and read it. She said, so when I read the book, I started incorporating things that I should eat for my blood type. I think it's called Eat Your Blood Type. She said, I started incorporating things that this book suggested I eat for my blood type. She said, but I also, and she got that from somebody that was in the room in the community, Bachelor Journey. She said, and then I remember Blacktropicalhomestead saying castor oil packs. Put castor oil packs on and be consistent. She said that has totally changed my life. She said now my issues are starting to reverse. Things are looking better. She looked great. She lost weight. She had tons of energy. She helped us tremendously, but she was here, and things are looking better for her.
No.
For her. So just to get that testimony from her and see how good she looked, and she was in tears trying to tell us, but and I told Bobby, I said, you could tell it took her a minute to finally share that with us, because she stood up and she said who she was and the fact that she traveled here 4 years now and whatever, and then she sat down and she let majority of the room talk. And I think after the tears flowed from a couple people and most people gave their testimony, she said, I got something else to say.
Yeah.
And she stood up and she gave us that that testimony, and it was like, man.
And we have, not to put nobody business out, but we talked to quite a few people that had issues on the weekend, off, by themselves. And I mean, we all going through something, guys. And I mean, I say, before it become a problem, address the problem. And if you're here and you listening, that means you are somewhat interested in what we're saying or who we are. It's way easier for me to get interested in the subject, hearing about it, talking about it, versus me just going to pick up a book that I know nothing about, that nobody said nothing about, or I mean, I don't see the interest in it. Now, once I hear stuff like this and I realize, this sounds interesting, now I want to read up on it. So this is one of the purposes for this conversation, is for people who like listening to us or just interested in some of the stuff we're doing, is to talk about it. We got new growers, guys. We get these messages all the time. I'm starting growing for the first time this year. And I love the fact that we might have had something to do with it. The fact that they saying because of the stuff we are saying and we're talking about, or what's going on in the world, that they're interested in growing.
By the way, Booty can't help it, y'all.
This is for the, this is going to benefit them, their kids, because now their kids, their family members, going to have something to reference what it looked like to grow, where food come from, how to get a better tasting variety of food or healthier food, is because they decided, let me stop over here and listen to this beautiful lady and this strange looking man talk about whatever they're talking about. Now I'm interested. I am.
I'm trying to see your shirt.
Now I'm curious. Then that curiosity turned to, well, it seemed easy enough. Let me try it. And that's all it takes, And once that bug strike, you here. You know what I mean? You're going to be waiting just like us for the spring to hit so you can drop those seeds or get those plants in the ground.
And that's where your health is at. Again, another testimony, another story from dinner where Mom talked about how getting out there in the dirt, getting out in the garden and turning some dirt, not only are you providing healthy food for your body, but what is it doing to your mind and soul? just being out there in the garden is healthy in so many ways other than just what you put in your mouth.
And my mom, guys, and this is going to be the same thing with a lot of y'all. If you're young enough to have small kids, you growing and being out there in the garden is something they're going to look at. And, I want you to bring them out there with you, but they're going to be like, yeah, it's cool, but I don't see no big deal in it. And then at a certain point in life, they're going to reference what they did when they were a kid, and it's going to put them out there. And then they'll see why you did it. My mom, our front room always looked like a jungle because my mom had plants that was all the way to the ceiling. And I used to watch her. If some leaves were dying, she was clipping them off. She was wiping them down so they'll stay shiny. And I'm talking about our whole living room looked that way. And I never seen anybody else's house look like that. Whenever I did go to somebody's house and they had one of them plants, I just assumed they were real when they were plastic. Because when we were younger, they used to sell those big old plastic trees that you could put in your living room for decoration. And she was seriously passionate about them. My mom worked, and she did all her motherly things and wifely things, but she made sure she took care of them plants. And I had no idea that what she was getting from doing that. Why you didn't just go buy the big old plastic plants until I became an adult. And I've ventured out there on my own to try something. And man, the feeling I got from that, high stress job that I had, didn't think about it at all. Any problems I was having at home in a relationship or at work went away when I was out there dealing with my plants. And guys, I'm gonna tell you absolutely, if you can find that thing that does that for you, that can take you away from the norm, the rigmarole, the stresses of life. Those are definitely something you want to keep in your life. You make time for that because that's taking time for you. That's making yourself better. Stress is absolutely bad. Our body releases certain hormones that harms our body when we stress too much. And if we don't have no way to relieve that stress, you are hurting yourself. So take that time for yourself, guys, and find those things that does that for you, and make sure they're healthy things.
That's also
no
bad to say that they were afraid of bugs on Facebook. The comments moving, so I can't keep up with them. Mm-hmm. But she said, "I'm like Sherry, I'm afraid of bugs. I broke my window trying to get a bee out the house." I'm telling you, but as afraid as I am of things, I still find the courage because it's so peaceful and it do my body so much better to step outside. Sometimes I just step out on the porch and look around at the plants and see what's going on. Go ahead.
So Riri Garden said, being in my garden helps me clear my mind. I can literally forget a bad day. And you'll be amazed how much that works. Like we had a couple that used to come in, they said they can be fighting like cats and dogs in the house. They go out in the garden and everything changes.
Hold up. Monica, what's the temperature there? Monica said, I miss all you guys. I wish you were here with me in Boston. Depending on what the temperature is, because Reba said the day after she got home, it was like 90 degrees here, and she said, it's 37 degrees here. So, you are further north than Reba. I don't know if we wanted, maybe if you were here and y'all could be in Savannah with us. Reba heard me talk about how cold it was when she got home.
What's up, Reba?
We don't need the nets, we just need the heat. But yeah, come on down. Yeah. I'm sure there's plenty of houses here.
I'm telling you guys, this time of year brings life into us. Like, my wife got this her mama got the same look. When they want something, they'll sit there and they just sit there and stare at it. She went out in the front yard today and she was just standing there in the yard and she had that look on her face.
I was just looking.
She'll look at my plate like that too. Whenever she wants something off my plate, she'll sit there and she'll give that look.
Because we'll always eat the same thing. So like sometimes he'll have like ribs or something and I got fish. And I'm just like, hey, that piece of rib do look pretty
She
good.
don't say nothing.
No,
Her
I
eyes
don't.
say it.
I just stare at it. He say, "You got that look like your mama. You want a real?" No, I'm good. I don't know what that is, but yeah.
They can't see themselves, but that
No.
look is like distinct. Her and her mama both have the same look. They'll eventually, they
Snap
can't help
out of
themselves.
it.
They gotta grab it. They gotta be like, okay, I gotta get it. Your mama did that with that bacon that morning too. Oh, remember when I was stewing that chicken?
Yeah, when I had surgery a couple years ago, my mom came down to help take care of me, to help Bobby take care of me, and he was in here stewing. Was it chicken or pork chop? I don't know what he was cooking. Pork chop. Because I remember all night in the hospital, I wanted that pork chop, and Mom was standing there with her little plate.
I was like, it ain't ready.
She was like, as soon as you get out of the way, buddy.
She's like, it's ready. And see, cooking with bell pepper and onion, and once stuff start getting right,
Ooh,
it
that
just
smell.
put out that smell, right?
Gotta have
And she was like, no, I can't
Gotta
take
have
it no more. I gotta have it. And see, I like my chicken and my pork
Nino,
chop
hello.
to simmer long enough to fall apart tender.
I think you should make some.
I used to know what icon. So yeah, I mean you can do that. But that's gonna taste so good, the icon.
It is. Yeah. Look at God. Bobby cooking tonight. So yeah, y'all, we can, again, I like to remind us that, and I'm saying us because sometimes we still need the reminder that the body can heal itself long as we give it the right condition. This is why community is important. We share the knowledge, we encourage each other, we cheer each other. We are like our biggest cheerleaders, And I know our community is a decent sized community, but even with strangers cheering you on and letting you know you can do this, you got this, it feels different when you're trying to encourage yourself or convince yourself that you can do this. The body has the ability to heal itself. That is not because Black's Tropical or Bobby and Sherry created anything. That's because God gave that to us. The ability to heal itself long as we give it the right conditions. So he gave us the ultimate, but then he gave us a choice and what we want to do with that.
So absolutely believe anything that we decide to put out there is not going to have any of that junk in it that's causing all these issues.
Yeah.
We refuse. I don't care if this is going to make it stay solid longer or make it harder. If it's not a natural product, we are not putting it in ours.
Yeah.
So,
As clean
some of
as
y'all
you can.
may know that anything that touches your body is absorbed into your body.
On down to your clothes.
Yep. And if you're putting these shampoos, these soaps, these deodorants, I got a story about deodorant, and all this stuff, even if they're using certain things to make your fabric in your clothes, your body is absorbing all that. Not in a minute fashion, it is really, really pulling it into your body. Now, your body has a way to fight off the effects of some of this stuff, but it's not enough to fight off all that stuff. And as you get older, you start feeling the effects of the stuff because your body is not as strong as it was when it was younger. So now having to do all the work, all the new chemicals that they're putting into your food, on top of all the new chemicals they're putting into your lotions and soaps and shampoos and conditioners, all that stuff is being put in your body now. Your body have no way to fight off everything that is being put in it. And they are constantly making new chemicals
Every day.
to put in your foods and in your healthcare your
Personal care
products. So make sure you're being cognizant of that, guys. Don't think that you just living a regular life and everything is fine, because you have to be on purpose to not have these problems. You have to be cognizant that this is an issue, guys. My wife, y'all saw when she made my deodorant. Well, she set me up, right?
Oh, I didn't try to. I just wanted it to smell good.
She used lemongrass oil to make my deodorant. Now, the deodorant is great. I love it. And it smells good.
That's
But
what I was after.
it is lemongrass. And guys, we raise bees. So if you're not familiar, bees are attracted to lemongrass.
They love it. So don't wear this deodorant.
I'm in the yard. I'm like, why y'all keep buzzing past my ear like this? Like, I'm used to being out there with my bees. They won't bother me. I can sit there right next to the hive, and I can walk around the yard and do whatever I need to do, and they just go on about their business. They'll come and go as they want. Why are you? It's like a plane buzzing. You're like zoom, 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 and I'm like, why are y'all doing that? And then all of a sudden, I had to think. I'm like, lemongrass.
Yes. and it smells so good, but he haul tail in the house. I said, what's wrong? He said, I gotta wash this deodorant from my arm. He was in the bathroom like a chicken, like a bird. Wash it up. I was like, oh, he said the bees will not stop that lemongrass deodorant. And I only put a little bit in, but yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, it smells good and it actually works. Now, I haven't been in the middle of the summer yet with it, but I'm sure it'll be fine. And the fact that I know I'm taking probably thousands of chemicals out of my body by avoiding using regular deodorant.
Yeah.
And you thinking thousands for your shampoo, thousands for your soaps, and then the thousands of stuff and each piece of food that you're consuming. One thing I was thinking about the other day, if you make your food at home from scratch and you are actually eating real foods, sit it out and see how long life start happening to it. How long stuff start growing on it.
You talking about regular food?
Yeah. Then put a piece of food out that you bought from the store and see how long it takes for life to start growing on it. Now, if life won't live on that one you bought from the store, why?
Something is up.
Yeah. Life will live on this food because this don't have all the poisons in it. Mm-hmm. But this one won't. So whatever they put in that food that won't allow life to grow on it, or it's hard for life to grow on it, absolutely got to be bad for your body, right? Mm-hmm. Because you're alive, your internal organs are alive. So how can that be good for you?
Good Lord. Yeah.
And you can see that by the little thin pieces of plastic that they got on your cookies and whatever, potato chips, whatever. Like, how in the world is that not growing fur? Because when you see mold on stuff, that's absolutely life. But if life won't actually happen on that food, then you're eating bad stuff, guys. And that stuff is absolutely harming your body. Whether you say I'm sick or not, you would be better if you wasn't ingesting that all those poisons.
So lemongrass, I saw Tommy ask something about lemongrass. So we use lemongrass. We grow a ton of lemongrass. So I use a lot of the essential oil, and not only our products to make like the scent for our soaps, things like deodorant. Sometimes I just use the lemongrass. The essential oil on other things. But the aerosol, when we extract our own oils, we get a lot of aerosol, which we use as an air freshener. You can drink the aerosol because it's just lemongrass.
Tastes like Fruity Pebbles.
Tea. It tastes just like cereal.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Or you can just use it as a air freshener or spray, or you can put it in something to warm it. Because when we extract the oils from the lemongrass, the entire, even outside, probably close to the mailbox, like out in the yard, you can smell the extraction process going on. So it's great to use as an air freshener. well, you're not. If you're gonna extract your own oils, it's great to use that as an air freshener. But definitely get your oil off of it before you use that.
And that water is purified
It do
because
monitor.
it just comes up in the steam and it turns back into liquid,
Mm-hmm.
and we harvest that, and it will last a year or two without having any issue.
Yeah.
We kept it in a 5-gallon bucket for a long time. And we just go in there and get it as we need it.
Yeah. I don't think so. My yellow gold potatoes, they don't last long in the house because I cook them and eat them. I'm a potato baby. Bobby doesn't eat white potatoes at all. He only eats sweet potato. The link from Amazon. So all right, y'all. Definitely do your research when it comes to things like, oh, you got it, babe.
What?
The Amazon link. Reversing diabetes and so many other things. These conversations are important because some people don't even realize that these things are possible. We do sell products. You can find our products at blacktropicalhomestead.com. I saw somebody say that they were new here and didn't know we had products. We do sell all natural products. We just launched a supplement line, which right now we have moringa and blood pressure support. The blood pressure support only have cayenne and beet powder in it. I love the fact that we can grow these things. We have to grow as much as we can when it's warm, and then we can freeze dry them. And we decided we got a lot, so let's go ahead and make it available to help some people. And we get the question a lot that they need a good cayenne pepper or something for blood pressure. Moringa is your multivitamin. Hands down, it beat all out. We also have our own soaps where we grow our own banana plants or blue butterfly pea. We raise our own bees so we can get the honey. We grow our own turmeric. So we use all these products to make our soaps. We have magnesium body butter, which is good for keeping that magnesium level up. We are all deficient in magnesium because we don't eat enough, and they play with our foods. We have a wild yam cream for hormone imbalance.
Absolutely amazing, guys.
We all need wild yam cream for hormone imbalance. We all suffer. That
stuff, guys, have changed lives, guys.
Completely.
So, if you're doubtful, that it costs $23, right?
Yeah. Yes. $23, and that's shipped. Shipping is free.
This can absolutely change your life.
We appreciate you, Teresa.
Because our hormones are all off, and most of us don't realize they're off, but you will realize when they get
back on track. Yeah, it's like, oh, I ain't having those hot flashes, or I ain't mad because they cut me off, or whatever that issue. The skin tags are going away.
I'm just mad just for that.
Yeah, you having issues with cancer. Sometimes it's just your hormones.
Yeah,
it's just we don't have honey ready yet. Cayenne salve is the best natural alternative to Icy Hot, Tiger Balm, Voltaren cream, all that junky stuff.
And I think it's not even a comparison.
It's not.
You ain't got to worry about no chemicals.
Yep. That is the Cayenne salve, and then we have our world famous Pain Away oil,
which is my
favorite. I saved the best for last. Our website is blacktropical.com. Pain Away oil does just what it say. We love when we have events and can have testers, and people, they'll walk up and say, hey, my knuckles hurt, or I have this arthritis issue, or my knees, and we'll say, sit down and rub some on and let's see, give it a few minutes, and before they leave, they like, I need that. Skin tags are hormone imbalance.
So Pain Away All, guys, is one of my favorites because there's so many people out there that's on pain meds.
We appreciate it.
And pain meds are really, really bad for you. And people are taking pills for every ache that they got.
And they don't need it.
And the chemicals and the bad effects that stuff have in your body is horrible.
Yeah.
Because you're going to end up either being an addict or deteriorate in your insides.
Because it's never gonna heal.
Yeah, it's got to break down in your body, and they got to go through several passes for your body to use it. And it's not helping the pain. All it's doing is blocking a pain receptor in your brain that's telling you it's not hurting. Being able to put all natural oil on that pain and get that pain to go away and then start dissipating the reason why that pain is there is so amazing. I'm so mad that it hadn't been, all these people had to use that.
Keep up with them questions right quick. I mean, no. I'm just saying, don't lose them. Because I can't see them, but I just want you to scroll back to
and I'm so mad that so many people felt like they had to get on these dangerous drugs, and so many people end up having a surgery and being addicted to these drugs because they're not taught how to come off of them, and the doctor ain't telling them. And when their brain get to the point where it becomes equilibrium with that pain med, you can't stop. And then those pain meds tear up your insides. Now you got to get on other drugs to try to fix those problems when you could take this oil. And if you doubted that anything that you put on your skin is absorbed in your body, when you try this pain away oil and it absorbs through your skin to your pain and get rid of it, that should tell you exactly what your soaps are doing, what your shampoos are doing, your conditioners, your makeup, all that stuff. It'll tell you, hey, if I can rub this on my skin and now my pain is gone, those chemicals in that soap and the lotions and shampoos and it's absolutely going in my body, like they said. It's not a theory. It's not, they just making, no, you'll see right then. That should be your aha moment.
Thank you, Tom.
And you talking about will improve your life forever because now you're going to be thinking about all the stuff you use. So I love my pain away on
Yeah, you can even, somebody did ask about tinnitus. You can drop a little bit of pain away in your ears and that'll help with the tinnitus. We had a girl have a vertigo flare when we were in Alabama, and she was complaining about her shoulder hurting. So Bobby went and got the pain away, and I rubbed her shoulder to help her shoulder, even though she was having a vertigo spell. And what I did was I rubbed some around. I said, I'm gonna rub some up the back of your neck and around your ears, and hopefully it'll help you. And it was able to reverse that vertigo spell she was having to the point where she could go to sleep. She said, I usually end up going to the hospital because it makes me so sick. She said, but this is the first time I was ever able to not go to the hospital and manage this vertigo. So now what she do is she rub it around her ears to keep the vertigo at bay. But it's amazing what God's products can do. I saw somebody say that this medicine is a drug. Most meds are just a drug. Mm-hmm. All medicines are a joke. Yeah. If it's not God's medicine, God provided us with everything we needed. Back in the days, what did they have? They have all these crazy, look, we got so many commercials now, it's ridiculous. Everything they used back in the older days came from the garden, came out the yard, and it healed people. Totally.
So Prophetess want to know, do you rub wild yam on skin tags?
So we don't rub it on the skin tag, it's just putting it on these spots. You in the morning you put it on your thyroid. In the evening you put it on one wrist. The next morning you can put it on the other wrist. The next morning you can put it on your chest, your belly, your inner thighs. So you just rotate these 5 areas. What it do is it'll bring the hormones back in check so that you won't produce these skin tags over time. I did see another.
So hormone imbalance, guys. People go and get treated for that stuff.
Hormone replacement therapy.
Yeah, and that could take up to a year or so to even take effect. Our wild yam cream, as long as we heard, is 2 weeks before you would notice a difference. We even had a customer say that they were on hormone replacement therapy for, a year or 2 years.
Years. She said
Years.
it was years.
And she started using our wild yam cream. She said, I feel better than I have in 2 weeks than I did in 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
So it absolutely worked. You know, I don't even know if it takes so long for the medication that they use to work. Maybe it's by design, because I need you to come and see me for all this time so I can keep getting your money. But we use all natural. We use the wild yam roots,
which is the main ingredient in the hormone replacement therapy. They
use a synthetic.
They man-made a synthetic.
Yep.
So that they can sell it to the masses.
So guys, like we always said, you know, every medication out there
started off in the ground.
Yeah, they took and found a herb that does amazing things. They take it to a lab and they try to duplicate the results.
Yeah.
And as we know, man cannot outdo God. When it comes down to our bodies, God made our bodies, and He made the herbs
perfect form.
That's designed to help our bodies.
Yep.
So man will try and duplicate those results so they can make money off of it. But all you need is the knowledge of what they're trying to duplicate, and you can use that directly and not have any of those side effects. So that's where we at. And we only will make products that we feel will assist in more situations. So if we got an herb that only will help you here, that's not what we're interested in. You can find that out and you can use that. But the herbs that we're using, the products that we're making, that we're putting out, helps in a whole lot of different situations. Yeah. Because we want to give everybody the most bang for. And when you use a herb for the first time, and it's ours, and it does what we say it do, that's going to be like, I need to look more into herbs. Yeah. Because if they can do this naturally, what else can be out there? You know, and we definitely want to be a positive or a reinforcement that herbs will help you.
Yep.
You know,
you got three rules. Being consistent, because consistency is key. We are not creatures of consistency, but we got to do better. I said, when I stopped my blood pressure medicine, I said, if I can swallow these three pills every morning I get up, the first thing I do is grab this bottle of pills and take these pills. I can trust God and take His pills every day. So being consistent is important. Being patient, because we didn't get here overnight. We've been suffering for a long time. So now we got to be patient to get ourselves back. And we definitely got to trust God, because He already gave it to us. We just got to learn what it is and how to use these things. We try to keep things simple, because once it get overwhelming, it's like, oh my goodness, I don't know. They lost me a long time ago. So trust God, because we know He won't do anything to hurt us at all. Anything.
Yeah. So Monica Ziggy said, I had to stop medication for rheumatoid arthritis last month. I told my doctor I take care of my pain. I don't want the pain medication. I use my Cayenne pepper oil and pain away. And my pain away, I'm good. That, guys, is out there.
Yeah.
And when I tell you, you know, you may think and put an oil on me, then, you know, I want the pain to go away.
It's going to go away.
It won't take 20 minutes. It won't take that. Sometimes it happens as quick as 5 minutes.
And it's natural.
That's quicker than pain meds actually block those pain receptors in your mind.
And Monica, you make a cayenne tincture too. Drop that tincture in your water every morning. If you got a cup, like we always got big cups of water, drop a few drops in your water and constantly throughout the day. Cayenne is a healer. It is not going to hurt you. It is not going to hurt you. You can use cayenne. We take 2 cayenne pills or a teaspoon a day. You can do that 3 times a day. It's a healer. It's designed to heal. It's a service herb. We have to trust it and get past that fear of it's hot, it's going to burn. Bobby had some dental work done and came home and gargled with cayenne pepper. He said, when I get home, he was so sick of that gauze in his mouth. He said, when I get home, I'm a goggle. I said, okay. He said, Cayenne, stop that bleed. I said, oh, okay.
And I wouldn't recommend that for the faint of heart, but I was willing to go ahead and suffer whatever was going to happen for a short period of time versus having all that stuff stuffed in my mouth.
Yeah.
I know it worked because when I sliced my finger open, like I used the mandolin.
Ooh.
I took a layer, like I cut into my finger.
I was so mad.
Yeah.
He didn't mean to, but I was still mad.
Yeah. She dumped that cayenne pepper in there and stopped.
Instantly.
Yeah. So when I had a tooth removed, I had no doubt that it was going to work. I just knew that I was going to feel it because that's nerve. It's going all the way to your nerve. But I was willing to go ahead and do that, to go ahead and get that, stopped, and it
just
stopped
cayenne.
immediately.
Stop. That's what it's designed to do, and it's just cayenne pepper. You can't use like habanero, ghost pepper, Carolina Reapers, or all these other pepper. It need to be cayenne pepper, not chili pepper. Cayenne pepper. It does not mess up the lining of your stomach. So, story time. Andell Homestead was suffering with ulcers terribly, to where she was back and forth at the doctor, and they were like, "Look, you got ulcers everywhere, and it's nothing we can do." And when she came home and she called, she said, "I don't know what to do." I said, "Try some cayenne, just a little bit." And she said, "Oh, but I got ulcers." I said, "Look at the benefits. Look at the benefits of cayenne pepper. It is known to heal ulcers." I said, "So maybe try a little bit." And her husband take cayenne every day. He doesn't have a suffer in the world. No aches, pains, no high cholesterol, no high blood pressure, anything. She said, "Well, he take cayenne pepper every day, but I don't know." And she said, "I'm going to go ahead and try a little bit and see." And she started using it within a week. Was done. Acid reflux, all those gut issues. Cayenne is going to heal. We just have to trust it, and we got to get past that little tingle. I don't like hot food at all, but it doesn't burn to the point where it's like, oh my God, I just ate something hot. It tingle. But have your water ready to put that little light out, and you'll be fine. So we take cayenne. What we do to start, and this is how I came off my blood pressure medicine. Of course, you have to clean up what you eating a little bit, because I'm not going to say 100%, because we still eat out. We still travel and enjoy life. And we eat regular. We just make better choices in what we eat. But I started with a quarter teaspoon of cayenne pepper powder and a little bit of water, because I don't want to have to be drinking a whole cup. I just do a little shot. So I will start with a quarter teaspoon of cayenne powder and a little bit of water, and just drink it. Knock it down and be done. And drink some water behind it. That will help. We also use beet juice or beet powder. You can grow your own beets. You can dehydrate them, freeze dry them out, and powder it. That way you are able to capsule it or make juice when you need it. We also sell a blood pressure support supplement, which is just a capsule that's full of cayenne powder and beet juice. We just take the powder straight because, well, that's what we did for a long time. That way, if we ever we didn't depend on capsules. So if we ran out of capsules, we didn't feel like, I can't take this because it's hot, it's cayenne, and I can't take it, and I'm out of capsules. If we run out of capsules, we can still take our cayenne powder, because we know that it's not going to set us on fire. We're not afraid of it anymore. So trust it. Try it just a little bit, and it'll be fine.
So Miss 4940 said that her doctor just put on eye drops for cataracts. Look into cold pressed castor oil.
Yeah.
Castor oil will absolutely dissolve cataracts, and so you want to look into that, and then probably use that. It's probably going to work better than what my drops do. But look into it.
Yeah.
And make that decision for yourself. Cold pressed, hexane free castor oil
will help with those cataracts, and it's
just
natural.
put them in your eyes before you go to sleep.
Another thing is seasonings.
It's thick, so It will blur your eyes. So if you're going to sleep,
Yeah,
you
do
gotta
it at
worry about
bedtime.
And you can rub it on your eyelids if you want to do that. Do it that way.
We got to get away from these seasonings. I think my bag of seasonings is finally in the trash, but I used to keep them so I could show all the seasonings we had and would dabble with because, oh, that sounds good. Caramelized onion powder and all this stuff. It sounds good. The anti-caking agent that they put in all these seasonings, containers, packages, or whatever it is, that is a big no-no. Yeah, the one on our Amazon page. That
So he grateful he don't wear makeup.
that the chemicals they put in the seasonings to keep them fresh and not caking up is what would mess us up, and that's what's feeding these cancers and high blood pressure and different things. If you check out Redmond, they have a lot of seasonings. Hopefully y'all had a chance to win some at SoilFamily Expo, or some I just gave some away, and try their products. They have really clean products. The seasonings you can trust. They are good, and they don't have all that crap in them.
Not for nothing, said, do you think they would work for migraines? So we don't know what we were talking about when you asked that question, but
For migraines, you need salt.
yeah, make sure
And
you
water.
got your magnesium levels up. It could be just the fact that you might be dehydrated, but more likely you dehydrated because you don't have the correct minerals in your body to hold your water.
Yeah.
So we talk about that a lot. That's one of the reasons for our magnesium cream is so you can introduce more magnesium to your body. Eat nuts, green leafy vegetables, and you can use either the spray, magnesium oil, or you can purchase the magnesium body butter from us. You can make your own spray. You just have to buy the magnesium and make it. Or my favorite is the body butter because I can rub that on my skin and get my magnesium up.
And not be ashy.
Yeah. So a lot of people really don't realize the effects of not having the magnesium in your body and not being able to use your water efficiently.
Mm-hmm.
You have swelling. Well, your water will pool because your body not using it. You'll go to the bathroom a lot when you drink. Your body should be absorbing that water because we are mostly water. And if our body is not using it correctly, that affects our brain, it affects our organs, it affects everything about us.
And they throw the body off.
Yeah.
And these are a lot of our issues, the migraines, the high blood pressure, cholesterol, whatever. It's because things are not operating right.
Yep. And we need it because, the thing is, guys, you can think that you're eating the right foods to get this stuff, but by them genetically modifying our foods don't have the correct amount of that stuff in it. And most of us are eating fast foods. We're not eating, fresh vegetables and getting vegetables from credited sources. So growing your own food, you can grow non-GMO seeds that's designed to hold all these micronutrients that our body need. And when we eat enough of it, we'll get the minerals we need. Now everybody's trying to use supplements. Well, the problem with the supplements, you don't know what's in those pills that they're giving you. And is your body actually using it? So we found out about the salt. They'll leach your iodine out of your salt and then replace it with some other kind of iodine. Well, the iodine that they replace it with won't uptake into your body. So they're taking the one that will work for your body and then replacing it with one that won't. Mm-hmm. So you're not getting the iodine in your body from your salts. So you're not getting the magnesium because they took that out and trying to make other stuff with it. So make sure you find enough pure salts, micronutrients, which is we use real salt. Mm-hmm. And we're an advocate from that because we went to their mines. We see that they do absolutely nothing to their salt. It has all the minerals in it, and if you look at it, you can see the minerals in it.
Oh, is it?
You got a rock up there? You right there.
Yeah.
All these colors in the salt is the minerals. So when you having just a bleach white salt, you ain't getting none of these micronutrients that's in this thing. This is a piece of the salt from the mine. If I grind this up, what's in my salt, in my bag of salt, is the same thing. And we're not getting this in our body. So therefore our body is not doing what it's supposed to do. So one of the important things I heard about salt, what they knew back in the day, is how important it was to have salt. This much salt was worth this much gold. For ounce, salt was just as valuable as gold. Why was that lost? Why is that not the case no more? Because they're not making salts like this no more, you know. And people don't realize how much damage they're doing to their bodies when they don't have all these vital nutrients in it. So everything, if you look into your vital nutrients and then find out what effects do they have to our bodies. You know, this is not being put out there because we want you to be sick. We want you to be hurting. We want you to go to the hospital and the doctors. And we want you to go to the pharmacies because that is big business. That is big money. And if we tell you to do these simple things that don't cost much, you're cutting the throat of a whole lot of billion-dollar companies. And they are absolutely not looking out for our best interest. They're not looking out for our health. They don't care. We are just a consumer. They don't look at us as people because when we die from them doing what they're doing, they're not worried about it because they just got a whole bunch of more customers since then. So, I mean, we have to look out for each other, and that's the reason for community. This is the reason for us getting together. If you look at the chat, you're going to absolutely see people giving you their stories, their testimonies, you know, telling you the stuff that they know. So definitely go back and look at the comments. There are people out here that know this stuff. They know some things that we might not even know, and they're telling you in these chats. Do your research on everything we say, everything they say, anything you hear anywhere. Do your own research and follow.
Bobby, you got to drop the website. She said she can't find a website.
A lot of people just don't know, guys. I mean, you know, we say that, you know, we in bad shape and people are doing all this and doing all that. You'll be amazed. People just don't know. For many, many years, most of my years, I didn't know.
We don't use Himalayan salt. Like, we don't use sea salt because the sea is trash. It's a lot of trash and pollutants in the sea. So if you're getting your salt from the sea, well, you know, they get the water from the sea and then they what do you call it?
Leach.
Evaporate.
Yeah, they'll evaporate, but then they'll put it in pools and leach
certain things out of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you evaporating the salt from junky sea, you know, that's what you're going to end up getting, even though they leach so much stuff out of it.
I think that's the main problem with that is that they leach the vitamin.
Yeah, they do. But even though it's dirty when they started, you know, because of the pollutants, ships, trash, whatever they got in the sea, but then they turn around and take everything out of it, which it don't serve a purpose anyway. So
Trudy Bowl, you walk over, she looked there like, what's your problem?
That nasty bowl. Booty got a new bowl, so she be showing off and throwing them. Be like,
one of the good things about salt, though, I mean, it can't hold germs.
And I was explaining that because people freaked out when they saw us lick the walls when we were in Utah. Why are y'all licking that nasty, dirty wall? You got to keep in mind, back in the days, they would skin a hog or get fish or whatever, and they salt it and hang it outside to dry. Well, you saw flies or whatever on it, but the salt protected it. So the salt don't hold germs. It doesn't hold bacteria.
Not at all.
So that's the good thing.
Actually a killer of it.
Yeah. So somebody was asking about hormone imbalance. So we use For thyroid issues, hormone imbalance, we use wild yam cream. Hormone imbalance can look like for any of us. It can look different. Hair loss, weight gain, acne, fatigue, infertility, irregular cycles, hot flashes, sleep issues, fibroids, early cycles, cysts, low sperm count, polyps, depression, erectile dysfunction or ED, heavy cycles, skin tags, dry skin, vaginal dryness, painful cycles, headaches, cancer, tension, thyroid issues, prostate issues, and or heart disease. They can look different for all of us. Men can also use wild yam cream. We say one time, and the testicles is a great place for a man to put wild yam. He can use it every day, one pea-sized amount, and it can get him back together. For depression, it's definitely, when it comes to all of these issues, it's definitely our diet, but your hormones could be off, and that could be throwing your depression off. For memory loss, we drank Gotu Kola tea to help keep the mind strong, but you want to use something like a coconut or a healthy fat, because when you start having issues with the brain, it's probably lack of fat. So make sure you incorporate a healthy fat. When you drink water, sprinkle a little bit of that Redmond real salt in your water so it can help the brain.
Yep. So don't think you being healthy by making your fat level on your body so low, because it's absolutely dangerous. Bodybuilders, they are close to death when they go to a show. They only can stay like that for a small amount of time, but it's dangerous for them to even get that low.
Yeah, that back and forth.
Yeah, you want to keep your fat level at a decent amount, because it is absolutely essential for you.
Yeah, they'll say cholesterol, but your brain need a certain amount of fat.
Yeah.
So the wild yam cream for women, we use wild yam cream for 3 weeks. Because I don't have a cycle, I use it from the 1st to the 21st, and then I stop until the 1st. So the 1st through the 21st, in the morning when I get up on the 1st, I'll put a little bit, pea-sized amount on my inner wrist. And in the evening, I'll choose another area. You have your inner wrist, your thyroid area, your breast, your belly, and your inner thighs. You want to rotate these areas for 3 weeks, and then you want to take a little break. If you have a cycle, break the week of your cycle, and that should help you. I just saw Talea say that her sister was having a hot flash a few minutes ago. She put some wild yam cream on, and it calmed down. So
we have had people that they use a whole lot of wild yam cream. You know, they use way more than we say that they should, because now they so impressed by how it makes them feel, like different things, like, you know, people say arthritis, it actually helped them with that, you know, what's that word for them? Shingles. I mean, all kind of things. And, you know, we telling you the basic uses for it, but most of the stuff, guys, you can use for other reasons.
It's God's medicine.
Yeah, it is natural.
He put it here for us to heal.
Yep.
Harold said, I don't take any medicine. I try to use what I call God's pharmacy. Yeah. I'm telling you, God's entire pharmacy. Like, we can go to one place to heal anything, and that's God. He already gave us everything we need. It's just the conversations to know and learn what are we using.
Because all of us heard about herbs a long time ago.
Yeah.
Most of us have not paid their job no attention.
Yep.
Because we didn't believe that, hey, I mean, it
can't be that simple.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we don't understand. And when you don't understand something, it can be scary.
Yeah.
The unknown is scary. So,
you ready?
Bobby is drinking coffee. We do drink coffee. I did see that question too. Like, I saw a bunch of questions and I'm like, I'm trying to remember. So we do drink coffee. I like cold coffee, which I don't drink all the time because I can get addicted to it really fast. Bobby is drinking hot coffee. The thing with coffee is it dehydrates you really, really bad.
Yeah, drink a
so
lot of water.
To that 1 cup of coffee he drinking, it's probably 2 cups because he got a big cup. He'll drink about 10 more cups of water to replace just this 1 cup of coffee
But what I do have in there is heavy whipping cream. This is my fats.
Yes.
So I can actually work off of just the fats in this coffee because instead of using carbs, I use fats. And heavy whipping cream
That's
is
great stuff.
the whole beer. I can literally go probably past noon with just this cup of coffee because of the fat content that's in here.
So we use beef tallow on our skin and to cook with. It is a great source of fat, a healthy fat that we need. That is your natural collagen.
Yeah, wild yam cream do last a long time. People look at the size of the container.
Yeah, and they be like, that little thing?
Yeah.
That thing will last you about a good year. So,
Yeah. Well, if you use it the way you're supposed to. But most people don't.
Like
Most people
Andale.
don't. Yeah.
Andale was like, oh, this stuff is some good cream. I just
I
rub it all over. I was like, okay.
Yeah, because when you start realizing now I got uses of my hands, my body parts, I'm not flipping out all the time,
Yeah.
then you don't never want to go back to being the way you were. Like I said, most of us think that what we're doing is natural. If we have an attitude with our family members, people at work, friends, we think they deserve it. You know, this is natural. But you don't realize your hormones are off, and that makes you look at things in a negative way. So therefore, you know, you don't realize it, and it's happening over time. So you didn't realize you just that became this mean person. But once you get your hormones back in check, you're gonna realize I've been doing a whole lot of unnecessary stuff.
So
I left my husband or I left my wife.
We don't sell.
And I didn't need to.
We don't sell beef tallow, but you can go to a butcher shop and ask them for suet.
Man, that fly gonna make me.
You can ask the butcher if they have any suet or tallow. If you ask for suet, they know that that's just raw fat, straight from the beef, the cattle. And they may have some to sell. So we take that suet and make our own tallow with.
It is a
And
process
then-
that you gotta go through.
Yeah, and then I take that tallow, I freeze a lot of it so Bobby can cook with it, and I whip some of it to make cream for my face. My sister-in-law called me the other day because I sent her a little jar to try, and she was like, I love the way this stuff smells. I said, your dogs probably do too. And she was like, yeah. I said, it smells a little beefy, but not. And she was like, no, I don't get beef. And I said, it smells a little beefy, but not like strong. And she said, I don't know, I love it. She said, and then she was trying to figure out why is the dog always in my face. I'm like, Mama, you smell edible. She said, and then I walked past my husband, which is my brother, and he said, you smell like a steak. And she was like, your brother talking about I smell like a steak. So I render tallow a lot
Neuropathy.
because I want to get that beefy smell out, because I don't want my dogs to feel like I might have to eat my mama because she smells edible.
Neuropathy, pain away all
It's
absolutely work for it.
That's what I use. I use pain away oil to keep my neuropathy. I suffer with severe neuropathy because I broke my back. So I had sciatic issues, neuropathy issues. Pain away oil, I just rub it on the bottom of my foot. I'm good to go.
Yeah, so I know some new people. My wife did have an injury some years back as a nurse where she had to have surgery on her back. She had neuropathy ever since until we started doing this with learning about our herbs, and she used herbs and no issues. Since we finally started using it, she ain't had a neuropathy problem since. How many years you had it before?
Ooh, like 12 years. I hurt for 12 years.
12
After my
years.
injury, I had surgery and I hurt every day since. But I didn't complain about it, and we'll talk about that next week. I ain't complain about it because I still got to do things. What I didn't do was things like sitting on the floor and wearing my boots all day and different things. So, but there are ways you can overcome pain issues totally.
Naturally, stuff that they can't even get medication to fix them things.
Pain away oil. I use pain away oil for neuropathy. Right now, if you don't have pain away, you can use castor oil. And what you do is take a napkin and douse it good with castor oil and then sprinkle cayenne pepper on top of it and stick that on the bottom of your foot. That'll help get that circulation moving to dissipate that pain.
Yeah,
But
so
rub that pain away oil on there a couple times a month.
If you don't want to purchase the pain away oil, the castor oil and cayenne work.
It'll get it done.
It don't work as good.
No.
But it will work.
So like I use the castor oil cayenne pepper pack for about 5 days before it went away. And then now I don't use it at all. But what I do is I rub the bottom of my foot 3 times a month to keep that neuropathy away because I don't want it to show up again. So all right, y'all.
It's called pain away oil. It is on blackstropical.com.
Yes, pain away oil. So
all right, guys, to the next time.
Don't let nobody steal your joy.
Y'all have a beautiful week, a beautiful Sunday, and we'll see y'all soon.
I'm gonna make some pineapple jam, pineapple jelly, and I probably had to make a biscuit or two. He like biscuits, y'all. I mean,
especially on icon biscuits, ancient grain biscuits.
See y'all Wednesday. Booty like, oh Lord, they be taking forever. I'm gonna take my